All right, tonight's meal is Manwich or Sloppy Joe sandwiches. There's a picture right there of what we're attempting. Now they got theirs on a bun. I prefer open face on bread. So I lay 2 pieces of bread out on a plate, top them off with some Sloppy Joe, and top that Sloppy Joe off with some coleslaw. Sometimes I make French fries. Tonight I'm just doing some barbecue chips. So Sloppy Joe sandwiches, topped with coleslaw, with a side of barbecue chips. All right, we'll start with browning the ground beef. I got it on a medium heat. I got it on 5. I've got about a pound and a half, probably not quite 2 pounds in there. And once that's browned, we're going to strain it. I don't have my strainer out yet. Strain it, put it back in the pan, and then we'll add our 15-ounce can of Manwich. Some people call them Manwich. Some people say Sloppy Joe. Manwich is just a brand name of Sloppy Joe. Same thing. So we'll brown this meat. It'll take probably about 5-7 minutes to brown this meat on a medium heat. I got my spatula here. I'll show you. Start getting that meat separated. It'll brown much quicker if you separate it and spread it out. You don't have to cover it, just leave it uncovered. But let that do its thing. And once it's brown, I'll show you my straining, and I'll add the Manwich sauce. All right, the meat has browned. I kept it on that medium heat, and it took about 10 minutes. So I used just under 2 pounds. So that is a lot, but I'm feeding several people with this. So it's going to produce more grease, and it's going to take a little longer to brown rather than if you use just a pound. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to drain this. I'm going to strain this. So I got my strainer ready in the sink. And when I strain the grease, I like to run hot water to prevent the grease clogging my water pipes, which it's happened before. So emptied all the meat out of the skillet into the strainer. Now I'll let that sit for 30 seconds, give it a couple shakes. Get that grease falling out from the bottom. Get all that grease out of there. I'm going to put the meat back into the skillet. Add Manwich. I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit because all we're doing is flavoring the meat with this Manwich sauce. And really, after a few minutes of simmering, you're ready to go. So let me show you the process after I get the meat back in the skillet. Got the grease strained, and got my meat back in the skillet. And I got it on a 3 now, because I'm going to pour this 15-ounce can of Manwich right in there. Get it all out. Okay, and then I'm going to spatula this around, mix it all up with the meat, and I'm going to do this for 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure that meat has saturated with the sauce. Then you're good to go to make your Sloppy Joe sandwiches. I'll show you the finished product here in a minute. Okay, I've stirred the meat with the sauce. It looks amazing. I'm going to let that simmer on 3 for a couple more minutes. So 6-10, I'll feel fine about making my sandwiches up. Once again, most people have them on hamburger buns, topped with some coleslaw. I prefer open face sandwiches. So I put 2 pieces of bread on a plate. I smother them in Sloppy Joe, top that with some coleslaw. Sometimes I make French fries with it. Tonight I'm just doing some barbecue chips, which is a great, inexpensive, delicious meal. $12 to $15 tops. the most money you're going to spend is on the hamburger. The meat is expensive nowadays. So I use just under 2 pounds. So, geez, oh Pete's, I'm looking at $7 to $10, probably $7, $8, depending on where you go. Bread, I buy not name brand, so 99 cents a loaf. Coleslaw is a few bucks, and a bag of chips is $2. So very inexpensive, delicious, enough for a family of 4 or a household of 4. I'm going to turn off my hot water. I've left that running for a few minutes to make sure my grease doesn't clog my drain. I had that happen one time. It was a mess. So I'll show you the finished product here in a minute. All right, here's the finished product. Sloppy Joe sandwiches. Once again, I prefer open-faced, just on bread. Sloppy Joe, some coleslaw. Tonight I'm doing chips for a side item. Most people do them on hamburger buns. Do them either way. They're delicious, inexpensive, very delicious. Enjoy.